This is Brent of the Brookbush Institute, and in this video we're bringing you more performance and strength info with the progression from the wobble squat. We're going to do the wobble lunge followed by the wobble multiplanar lunge. I'm going to have my friend Jeremy come out. We're going to torture him with this. Now, you guys will notice that in the last video I forgot to mention, the Olympic bar is a lot of weight to start with, especially for loads having to do with lunges. So all we've done here is grab a body bar. You guys could use like one of those bamboo bars. I've seen training Olympic bars. There's a lot of ways to go. Be creative to bring the stable weight down so that you can add some of this kettlebell weight on top of it. Now we're just going to fold our big serious steel bands here and then add them to this body bar. You want to put yours on first? There you go. And these body bars are just long enough to be on this rack here, so we got to be a little careful making sure that we line everything up well. And of course I'll spot Jay when he puts this back in the rack. Now the first thing we're going to go into, guys, is we did the wobble squat and the wobble reverse lunge in the previous video. We'll start with the wobble reverse lunge one more time, just so we can start picking this apart and then adding our progressions in. All right, so as he goes into a lunge, one thing a lot of people forget is there should be some trunk lean and the front leg should be doing all the work. So I'm gonna have you step back with your left first, right? Good, and notice he has a front lean of his trunk very similar to that tibia torso angle we'd see during a squat. He might have stepped back a little too far on that one. Let's see one more, Jay. Good. And then as you come up, right glute all the way. Thrust that forward. Boom. And you see he's pretty good at that. Now, of course, adding this dynamic, you can do the other leg if you'd like, adding this dynamic motion forward and back gets the weight swinging a little bit forward and back. So we're adding a little bit of that sagittal plane dynamic motion of the kettlebell. Now, if we want to take this up a notch, I'm going to have him take a little step back. And we'll do some front lunges. Now, of course, as soon as he drops into a front lunge, we're speeding up the momentum here. All right, it's a lot harder to slow down a front lunge than it is to slow down a reverse lunge. Nice. How much harder is that? You can go ahead and relax. And you guys can see how much more swinging the weights will do. Give them one more so they can really just focus on how much those weights swing as he goes down and comes back, right? It's tough to get stable. We have tried, both Jay and I, as this is my training partner, we have tried going back up into balance. It's so tough to get back onto balance in one leg. All right, good deal. Up, oh, this is good progression. We'll get up there, we'll get there. All right, so the next thing let's try a lateral lunge. And this is where stuff starts getting really crazy. So think about this for a second. Now which way are the weights going to swing? Right? We'll probably still get some forward and back swinging because he's still going to have a trunk lean. It's still going to look like a squat from the side, but now we get those weights swinging side to side as well. Something to keep in mind too with the length of your bar, guys, you don't want those weights right up next to your hands or your elbows because you'll start getting like knocked around by the kettlebells, and I don't want to give anybody bruises. There you go. How's that?
Stuff.
You want to try the other leg?
Yeah.
All right, let's try the other leg a little bit. Let's see if you can go into balance. Up, and one leg. Oh! Nice job. Really nice job. Let's try one more. One thing you guys will also notice is I've gone from squats to lunges, and as you guys can kind of see this setup, while he's on the ground, he can save himself. Usually, I would suggest squat, step up, then lunge as a progression. With these, I do not recommend step-ups. The idea of somebody being at a height on one leg and all of a sudden losing their balance is actually a little scary with these. So just as a safety precaution, guys, I would go ahead and skip step-ups for this particular setup. Now, Jay, you ready for the toughest one?
Yes. All
right. So we've been working on this a little bit. This is actually scary hard. Jay is going to do a transverse plane lunge and up. Oh, nice job. But what I'm going to have you do this time, actually, you actually made that harder than I thought you were going to. I'm just going to have you do a transverse. So start facing that way again.
Oh, and stiff.
Yep, and then step forward. So just so he stays on using that leg, I'm gonna have him use his right glute to get back up and stand forward. Good, and you can back up and try it again. Now you can imagine he could keep going in a circle and do all one leg, or he could step up this way, and then let's step onto your left leg going back, okay? There you go. You kind of went into a lateral lunge there. Make sure it comes back to a transverse plane lunge. These take a second to get down. I mean, this is very typical, guys, what me and Jay are going through here, where he kind of went into a...
Wrong way.
No, you did like 160 degrees though. Nice job, nice job. All right, this is very typical, guys. Usually I don't do anything more than 90 degrees. You guys can imagine, let's go ahead and have you start facing this way, since that was the easier way to kind of wrap your head around for this one. It's very easy to kind of get turned around as you start adding these other planes. So for this particular rep, guys, I want you to look not at Jay, but look at what happens to the weights as he goes into a transverse plane lunge and steps up, and try to imagine how much his core and glutes are gonna have to work to straighten him out. Boom. Right? Like you get like all of this like oscillatory motion. They're going side to side, forward and back, and kind of swinging on you. That's tough stuff.
Yeah.
Now, Jay's really, really advanced, right? Although we got a little turned around there on going back and forth. You guys can imagine you could do a transverse plane lunge this way, and then a transverse plane lunge this way. But what Jay and I have been doing is going, well, how bad could we make this for ourselves? So we do all of it. You're gonna go backwards, then forwards, then sideways, then turn. Good, nice. Forward, right? Use your glute, and there you go. Lateral lunge, use your glute. Ooh. Okay, yep, try it one more time. Make sure that they stabilize at the top, guys. So sometimes what people do is they'll get in a hurry, forget that the faster they move, the more the weights are gonna move on them. Okay, now transverse, keep going. Right, and since you're here, let's just start over and do 4 again.
Let's do it.
You guys can imagine it would actually take 16 reps to get back to where you started on one leg, which is not a bad goal. I think 16 on each leg is well within Jeremy's limits. Or not. I keep trying to like just push him over the edge, but he takes quite a bit of punishment. There you go. Keep going. All right, and as you guys can imagine, doing these multiplanar lunges, working up to this with this wobbly weight, great progression to add into your stability endurance routine. And I can tell you right now, going back to more stable loads feels like a piece of cake. And of course, once we go back to more stable loads for his hypertrophy training, if his prior hypertrophy load is easy, I'm gonna get a chance to increase it, which hopefully means more hypertrophy, more strength, and we just keep moving him down that blocked periodization, making him a better and better athlete as we keep progressing further and further. You can go ahead and rack that, Jay. Guys, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments box below. I'll be happy to get to them.